My mom played with the Ouija board in 1991, and this is that story. I've told this story before, but here we are again. My mom and my aunt started playing when their husbands were at work, and then they started asking the Ouija board questions, and out of nowhere, the Ouija board started saying, "Baby boy of 1992," and they were playing in 1991. My mom was like, what's that about? And then it just started saying over and over and over, "Give me your baby, give me your baby." My mom was like, "What's that about?" Anyway, she took a pregnancy test like a week later, and then my brother, a baby boy, was born in 1992. My mom played with the Ouija board in 1991, and that's how she found out she was pregnant with my brother, and now weird things happened to me. This is what this comment was about. So here's some more weird stuff that happened to me because of it. Oh, completely forgot to mention that when they try to get rid of the board, every single time they would try to get rid of it, it would show up under my aunt's bed. I don't know. It was not until they gave it a coworker that the board left their life. One of the weird things that happened to me was in college when I was around 22. I was having like really weird, what I thought was anxiety at the time, to the point that I got put on 3,600 milligrams of an anti-anxiety medicine every single day. But it wasn't just that. So it was anxiety plus constantly feeling tired, like feeling a really weird sense of dread, waking up with sleep paralysis in the middle of the night with scratches like the one I showed in that video. And at the time, I thought I was having low-level hallucinations from being sleep deprived because of waking up with the sleep paralysis. So I would see figures like just around me. I don't know how to explain it. Like I would see figures out of the corner of my eye. Like I would sense like somebody was like behind me. It's weird. There's more. Hold on. I forgot to mention this. My shoulders always felt really heavy during this time. There was a lot of noises going on. Okay, I'm trying to get through this fast. During this time, my brother was also going through something else, which I can't share what he was going through, but because of what he was going through, they decided to consult somebody who did limpias, so like a curandera type of situation going on. And then the solution she came up with him for like his cleansing was very like, "You guys do it at home. Here's the list of things you need to do." So she didn't gain any money off of that. But then they brought me up to preface this next part. Earlier that day that the story takes place, I was in the shower and my ears started ringing and hurting pretty bad. Okay, back to the story. One night, my brother calls me and he's like, "Hey, does your ear or face hurt?" I said, "Huh?" I said, "What the fuck? Why didn't you know that?" "Yeah, when I was in the shower, it was hurting and I didn't tell anybody that. I just thought about it and then completely forgot about it." And he goes, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "What the fuck? I'm scared." He goes, "We talked to the lady who does the limpias. She said that you have like a spirit following you and you have a spirit of a dead relative attached to you." And then she started listing the symptoms without ever talking to me, with very minimal information. She started listing all the symptoms I've been having. So feeling tired, feeling like heavy in the shoulders, the anxiety, seeing figures, all this. She started listing it out, and I hadn't even told my brother all these symptoms. Anyway, she was like, "You have to get over here, like immediately. I don't think you're okay." Anyway, we go over there. She does the limpia. It was a 3-day thing. It was some eggs in there. There was a ring of fire in there that I had to stand in the middle of, and there was a lot of praying and chanting. There was some going on with some plants in there. I don't know. The point is, it fucking worked. After the 3 days, I felt great. I went from being on 3,600 milligrams of an anti-anxiety medication to down to like 800 or something, and I was completely fine. And I know a lot of people don't believe in stuff like that, but that was my experience. And if that's what got me to get better, then that's what got me to get better, because my life was really hard to live at the time. Anyway, I have not talked to my family yet since yesterday, so I'll ask them for their stories if you guys want to hear more, because my brother and I talked about this one time, and there's like a lot of weird stuff that happened to him too. My mom played with the Ouija board in 1991, and that's how she found out she was pregnant with my brother. This is the series there. But a thing that I completely forgot that happened was that I have a family member who also played with the Ouija board in the 2000s and went into like spiritual psychosis and like tried to off himself. It was diagnosed as schizophrenia, but how much I believe that, I don't know. So let me know if you guys also want that story, because it's not related to my mom and her experience. Mom played with the Ouija board in 1992, and now my life is strange. I'm blocking all the Bible thumper Jesus freaks because I already said that we prayed. Anyway, I'm going to open this up for a Q&A. You guys ask your questions. It's the morning. I probably won't be able to answer until like my breaks. I'm thinking about making this account one where you guys can submit your paranormal stories, and then I share it to the world. So let me know if you guys think that's a good idea, if you already have a story you want me to share. Okay, I'm about to give you a quick story time on why I will never play with the Ouija board ever again, or do anything like that. What made me think about this story is right now I'm in Orlando for a family reunion. Growing up as a kid, I used to come visit my grandpa, my grandma, and my cousins in Orlando every summer. So one summer I had to be like 14 maybe, but I was like probably like in middle school.
we were really, really bored, me and my cousins, and so we're like, okay, let's go get a Ouija board. We used to watch a lot of movies, like a lot of scary movies, so we're like, let's go get a Ouija board. So we go to Target, we go get a Ouija board. Red flag number one, the box had my name on it. It was as like an example. So I'm like, a little scary, but whatever. We decided to get the Ouija board and we play with it. And I will never forget this. Like, it was like saying it was my grandpa's dad, and then it would switch and then say it was my cousin whose dad passed away, talking to her, and she would ask it very specific questions, and it would answer the questions, and like I didn't know her dad, so like I didn't know the answers to these questions, and so it would literally move and it would give us the answers. Now, what was really, really scary about this is that I will never forget this. We passed the hospital yesterday, but we were playing and it said, watch out for Mima. Now, Mima was our grandmother. She's always been pretty sick. She was a diabetic, so she would get sick very often in and out of the hospital. But it specifically said, watch out for Mima. And so we wound up like closing the Ouija board, not playing it, throwing it out, getting rid of it. And it always stuck in my head that it said, watch out for Mima. Well, one day, while I was still in Florida, while we weren't home, she had a seizure. She was rushed to the hospital, and I will never forget this. Like, she was like on a ventilator and everything, and she had a seizure while we weren't home. So in my back of my mind, I'm like, dang, the thing just said, watch out for Mima. Shortly after, she wound up actually passing away. So yeah, that's like my little horror story why I would never play with the Ouija board. My thought is, if we were there, if we were home with her, things could be a little bit different in how things played out. But yeah, I will never be touching a Ouija board. Any movies that really talk about Ouija boards, I don't really watch them. I'm like a little scarred, and my kids moving in the future, and I do have kids, will never touch a Ouija board. Yeah, no. 10 out of 10 would not recommend.